the spring edition of the Property Investor Show here at Excel in London, and we're on the Alan Boswell Group insurance stand, Alan Boswell being our insurance partner for Property Tribes, and I'm joined by Rob Guy. Rob, I thought today it would be good to perhaps talk a little bit about rent guarantee insurance, because there's been a lot of discussions and interest in that product on Property Tribes of late. What exactly, in a nutshell, is it?
So, hi Vanessa. Again, we're delighted to be a partner of Property Tribes. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Rent guarantee insurance. We're seeing the levels of inquiries that we're getting at Boswell's really spike at the moment. So we're writing a lot of standalone business for rent guarantee. But essentially, if a landlord is managing a property and a tenant, for whatever reason, cannot meet the monthly rental payments, then the policy kicks in and it will pay the missed rent directly to the landlord.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned you're seeing a spike in this. I'm just wondering why that is, because I think it could be a number of reasons, like uncertainty, concerns about tenant affordability, lots of reasons why landlords want that little bit of extra comfort.
Yeah, I would agree with all of those factors, and I think it's become more, the general public are more aware of the policy's existence now.
Yep.
So although we are in competition with the likes of some of the direct writers, they do advertise that service very heavily. And I think landlords are just aware that it's a product that they can purchase. So I think that's another major factor.
Well, I've started adding on rent guarantee insurance to my policies. Now, I have the buildings and landlords insurance, and then I add that on as an extra. Am I right in thinking that if I already had landlord insurance with another provider, could Alan Boswell Group supply RGI as a standalone product?
Yeah, that's a great point, and yes, we can do it as a standalone product. The price point is a little bit more expensive, just marginally. There's not a lot in it, but what we would encourage our landlords to come to us, do the landlord buildings and contents insurance, and then add it on as a ancillary product, and then they're going to benefit from sort of economies of scale in that regard. Other factors to bear in mind: the tenants must pass a successful reference.
Yes.
What does that reference entail? Well, it entails affordability. So we look at the tenant earning a gross income of 2.5 times monthly rent, which is sort of market norm.
Yeah.
We also ensure that the tenant has had no CCJs or bankruptcies in the last 3-year period, and then 2 proofs of ID. So we set the bar really low in terms of referencing, which is good. So it means a lot more tenants can pass the qualification criteria, meaning that the landlords ultimately have got that cover in place.
So, Rob, I've got Alan Boswell Group rent guarantee insurance. Yep. My tenant stops paying the rent.
Yep.
At what point do I contact you to start moving forwards with the claim?
Okay, great question. So the tenant has got to be 2 full months worth of missed payments behind before the claim can be advanced. And we always use a little example. So if the rent was payable on the 1st of January, it gets missed. We've got to wait until the missed payment on the 1st of February before a valid claim can then be advanced. But what we do ask is, as soon as the tenant has missed the payment, make contact with them to understand the reasons why. And then within 30 days of that first missed payment, make contact with the provider just to say potentially there could be a claim coming downstream. That then gives the provider and the landlord the opportunity to get all the paperwork in place. So as soon as that second payment has been missed, we can activate the claim, and the landlord can have the missed payment for the first 2 months within probably 7 to 14 days. And then there are interim payments thereafter until the eviction of the tenant takes place.
Okay, now when I did my rent guarantee insurance, I think it came to something like £90 for the year, which seems very good value for money in terms of how much potentially could be racked up if a tenant does go into arrears.
Because we're a major insurer in the UK marketplace, and we buy a lot of these types of covers, so we benefit from the economies of scale with the provider that we have got. So our price point is really competitive. It's offsettable against tax as well, and it is just great peace of mind, we find, for a landlord to take out those covers. Yeah.
Indeed.
They also include all the legal expenses as well. So a lot of people think, oh, I've got a rent guarantee, but I need the separate legal expenses. With ourselves and all the rent guarantee policies, the products are bundled legal expenses and rent guarantee. So all that protection and cover is there.
Well, that really is fantastic if you consider it could cost around £1,500 to £2,000 to take a tenant right through
Easy,
to eviction. So for a relatively small amount of money, you can have that peace of mind we've been talking about through rent guarantee insurance. And if you have any questions about this type of insurance product, do drop them on the thread, because Rob and his colleagues at Alan Boswell Group would be more than happy to answer them.